Chapter 4, Bridge of Thorns. Rain ended before dawn, leaving Ashwood washed clean and dangerous. By first light, the rebel camp moved with hard purpose. Scouts came and went in silence. Bowstrings were checked, blades oiled, horses fed and saddled. At the center table, Rowan spread a map and weighted the corners with river stones. Elira stood beside him, cloak still damp at the hem. No rope now. No guard at her shoulder. Only eyes that still measured what she did. Rowan tapped the map. Bridge pass here. Narrow approach. Steep banks on both sides. Bram leaned over his shoulder. And heavily guarded because our resident former royal schedule reader is annoyingly competent. Elira ignored the jab. Captain Verrick commands this convoy when Garrick is occupied in the capital. Verrick likes speed and clean formations. He hates stopping. Good, Rowan said. We make him stop anyway. He looked to Tomas and Mara. Feldlog team goes first. Drop it after lead riders cross but before wagon 2 clears the bend. Archers hold high ground and target hands, reins, and wheels. No killing unless they force it. Mara nodded. And the wagons? Grain and medicine only, Rowan said. Coin stays if we have to choose. Bram sighed. Again with the no-profit business model. A few rebels smiled despite the tension. Rowan turned to Elira. You ride rear with Bram. No, she said quietly. Bram gave a theatrical groan. I support this argument in principle, but for selfish reasons. Rowan's gaze stayed on Elira. This is not Riverstead. If it goes wrong, there is no village wall to hide behind. If it goes right, she replied, families live through winter. You said this convoy matters. Then I will not sit behind trees while other people carry the risk. For a long moment, Rowan said nothing. Then, you stay on my left. If I tell you to move, you move. No debate. Agreed. The word landed between them like a contract. They rode by mid-morning through wet pine and low mist, the column splitting twice before the pass. By the time they reached the ridge above the bridge, clouds had thinned and pale sun flashed on the river below. The bridge was old stone, narrow and arched, crossing black water that ran fast from mountain melt. Perfect choke point. Rowan crouched behind brush with Elira at his shoulder, both watching the road through branches. When the rear wagon reaches the marker rock, he whispered, Bram drops the log. Elira nodded. He glanced sideways. You are not shaking. I am. I cannot see it. That is because I am choosing where to spend my fear. A slow, unreadable expression crossed his face. Respect. Worry. Something hotter he refused to name. A horn sounded in the distance. Convoy. Red cloaks appeared first, then pikes, then 3 wagons drawn by broad-shouldered draft horses. The middle wagon sat higher than the others. Medicine chest markings. Elira saw it and exhaled. That one. I see it, Rowan said. The lead riders entered the bridge. Rowan lifted 2 fingers. Rear riders reached the marker. He dropped his hand. The log crashed down behind wagon 2 in an explosion of branches and mud. Horses screamed. Soldiers shouted. Archers rose on both banks and sent arrows into reins, wheels, and sword wrists. Chaos took the road in a single breath. Down! Rowan shouted. He and Elira slid from cover and sprinted toward the second wagon while rebels poured from both sides of the pass. A soldier lunged at Elira with the flat of his blade. Rowan caught the strike, drove the man back, and shoved Elira behind him. Left side, he said without looking. Now. She moved. No argument. 2 rebels cut the medicine traces while Bram hauled sacks from the grain wagon. Tomas took a glancing hit on the shoulder and kept moving. Mara smashed a will pin with a hammer to lock the rear cart in place. Captain Verrick forced his horse through the jam and pointed at Rowan. Ashford. Then his eyes snapped to Elira. Recognition hit like flint. Princess Dash. Do not say that name, Rowan said, voice cold as river stone. Verrick barked a laugh. You don't even know who you're sheltering. I know enough. Verrick drove forward. Rowan met him in the churned mud between wagons, steel ringing sharp over the river. Verrick was heavier, stronger, all brute pressure. Rowan was faster. Elira grabbed a dropped shield and turned just in time to block a blow aimed at Mara's back. The impact jolted her arm to the shoulder. Mara stared. That was either brave or insane. Both, Elira said through her teeth. Another soldier charged. Elira stumbled on wet stones. Rowan saw it and broke from Verrick long enough to reach her, catching her by the waist before she fell under hooves. For one suspended second, the world narrowed. His hand at her side. Her breath against his throat. Rainwater and steel and the pulse in both their bodies, too fast to ignore. Still with me? He asked, low. Yes, she said, though the word came out thinner than she intended. His grip tightened once, then released. Good. Stay behind me. I am beginning to hate that sentence. Despite everything, a breath of laughter broke from him. Then the moment was gone. He turned back into the fight. A warning horn sounded from the far road. Reinforcements. Rowan made the call instantly. Pull out. Take the medicine first. Leave the third wagon. Move. Rebels disengaged in disciplined bursts, dragging packs and crates into the trees. Bram whistled the retreat signal. Verrick shouted after them, blood on his lip and rage in his voice. Run while you can, traitors. From the tree lean, Rowan looked back once. Feed your king's pride with the wagon we left. We took what mattered. Then Ashwood swallowed them. They did not stop until they reached the old charcoal pits 3 miles north. Only there, under cover of blackened mounds and dripping fur, did Rowan call a halt. Roll call came fast. All present. 3 minor wounds. 1 broken wagon axle recovered for repairs. And medicine crates stacked in a dry ring beneath canvas. Mara pressed cloth to Tomasa's shoulder while Bram counted vials and muttered reverently, if these are what I think they are, Hollomir's fever camp might actually survive this month. Elira sat on a stump, flexing numb fingers where the shield strike had rattled her arm. Rowan crouched in front of her. Let me see, he said. It is fine. That was not a request. She gave him her hand. His touch was careful as he turned her wrist, checking for swelling. His thumbs pressed lightly along the tendons. Professional. Efficient. And somehow more intimate than any flirtation she had ever known. You'll bruise, he said. No break. You sound disappointed. He looked up at her, close enough now that she could see rain caught in his lashes. I am relieved, he said quietly. The words struck deeper than they should have. Around them, the camp noise blurred. Neither moved. Bram's voice cut in from behind a medicine crate. Reporting for duty as unwanted witness to unresolved emotional circumstances. Rowan stood without looking away from Elira until the last possible second. Inventory first, he said. Ah yes, Bram said. Romance later. Logistics now. Elira looked down, unable to stop the smile that tugged at her mouth. By evening, the rebels had divided grain and medicine for 3 villages and 1 fever camp. Runners left in pairs with coded routes. Scouts reported royal patrols sweeping south, too late and in the wrong direction. At sunset, Rowan and Elira stood at the edge of the ridge above camp. Below them, lanterns moved through trees like fallen stars. You saved Mara today, Rowan said. I reacted. You chose. She folded her arms against the cold. I was raised to believe loyalty means obedience. And now? Now I think loyalty means protecting people who cannot protect themselves. He considered that, then nodded once. You are changing fast. So are you, she said before she could stop herself. His brow lifted. Am I? You trusted me at your left side in a live ambush. He held her gaze. Trust is not the only reason I did that. The air between them tightened. What is the other reason? She asked. He stepped closer, not touching. A reason I should not act on while soldiers are hunting us, he said. Her pulse kicked. That sounds very noble of you. It is mostly survival. A laugh slipped from her, soft and unsteady. Then he reached out and brushed a wet strand of hair from her cheek, knuckles grazing skin in a touch so brief it might have been imagined. Get some sleep, he said. Tomorrow we move medicine to Hollowmere. He turned and walked back toward the firelight. Elira stayed on the ridge, fingers rising to the place he had touched. Below, rebels sang quietly while pots boiled and arrows were mended for another day. Above, storm clouds gathered again over Eldoria. The war with the crown was getting worse. So was whatever stood between an outlaw and a princess on opposite sides of the same fire.